Hello and welcome to Dragon Quest Tact with Auracard, Skelegon Road. So I will be using one unit that is not found through free-to-play technically. He is obtainable through scouting, but he is a C rank unit, so I would recommend using him if you can. And it's great if he has a couple of awakenings on him for his resistances, because it comes great into the boss later in the game. Now these are the easiest units to get along the free-to-play path. All the other ones take stamina to unlock. These guys you get easily through the quest or anything else. And if you ever want to check, you can hold down and click, and it'll tell you the stages where you can get the characters. So I'm going to move on to Skelegon Road 1. Now, it's a pretty easy battle. It's got a pretty cool storyline as well. You're Skelegon going around recruiting malcontenders or something like that, and recruiting them into Zoma's service because they're leaving his ways or whatever. And this She-Slime is a character in the story. But basically, I'm just going to give an overview of what these units can do really quick in this battle. I'll only be able to give a couple demonstrations of attack abilities. But we got Crackle is one of the late abilities for Umbra. As you can see, it's a pretty good spell. Now, this guy's got Burning Breath, which comes into play later, and so does the Manowar. It stuns your opponent. This guy stuns your opponent, sorry, the other two with the Burning Breath paralyze your opponent. And the dragon's got some breath attacks and an all-around glacier attack. Just does everything around him, takes damage. So I'm going to show off the early ability. Works really good against slimes. So it puts him to sleep. It's everything in the AoE occasionally. And the Burning Breath works here. That lasts for 1 turn. The sleep lasts for 2 turns unless you disturb it with an attack. This guy also does a lightning AoE around him, which is zap damage. And we'll wait with this guy. Now the ability you have early is Cool Breath with this guy, and then you get Chilly Breath and then Glacier. That's Skelegon, the highlight of the episode. You can't play this unless you've unlocked Skelegon. He is unlockable through the regular game format, but he does take a lot of stamina to get him. And in the game, he's much easier to get. There's even like when you go through the event, you get him automatically. Now, the ability you get early for this guy is the Eclonian Slash, but he starts off with the Burning Breath, I believe. So that's a highlight of their abilities overall, and it's the Eagle Grip with the Muddy Hand that stuns the opponent. So that's the first battle. It's pretty simple. It's not that hard for the first little bit, but you might not, well, usually if you have a couple of the characters leveled a little bit through gameplay, I already had my She-Slime leveled up a little bit, but you might have to play that a little while over and over again until you can beat the next one. Now I'll show you what the next one is, and I'll put it on autoplay for a bit, because it'll be pretty simple. Just a chimera, I believe. So we'll go auto. Let it begin. Oh no, somebody has to. Now you won't have Crackle when you start. You'll only have the Sweet Breath. It comes much later into the episodes. But you will have the basic abilities for this guy. Like that guy would have Cool Breath instead of Chilly Breath, I believe. You'll be able to check their opening abilities when you have the characters. Yeah, everybody knows that in the game. I'm sure I don't need to explain that. But if I do, just in case you're watching it and it's like a first time and you're coming through. Oh, I can't remember what I'm talking about there, sorry. I was going to explain that again. Maybe it was a waste of time. So the Umber's actually pretty cool. I like the look of them. It's got some interesting debuffs. So that fight is pretty simple too. The Chimera has the Searing Breath, and then we'll embark. We'll ignore the knocking if you can hear it. I'm busy right now. So this is an interesting fight. You probably have to level up here for a while before you move on to the next one. And I kind of like the battle plan I have here with it. So I'm just going to go auto for this one. Just give you the highlight of the battlefield. It's good to have the guys where I place them because the guys are weak against those kind of dudes. And this guy can kind of hold his own over there. The next stage, it's pretty tricky to get all the gems for it because of where they start, and it's a long walk over there and they do nothing but kabuff themselves until you get there. But this battle is actually not too bad if you've leveled up enough. If you're taking too many hits and falling too early, I wouldn't suggest playing it. Go back to the other one, like go through the level more and more and more and more. And turn your speed up to fast if you want, and autoplay once you get to the ability to be able to do that with the levels. It does take a long time to level up to get to the next step, so I would suggest playing them through and watching when you're autoplaying too, how it's helpful, like not constantly, but every once in a while when your guys go up in agility, you can change the battle order, and it can really mess up the way your arrangement is going, and it can either take a really long time to play out or even fail because one of your casters goes in a different direction than you're used to. So it is good to keep up on watching your gameplay a little bit to see if anything's going awry and being able to correct it. Battle Road, of course, you can play over and over again. Now this is the stage where they're a little bit to the side, so I'm going to take auto off and try to get the achievement for this one. So we'll put my fastest guys over there. Let the battle begin. Well, they got the AoEs and the damage anyway. So I'm going to try to get, you have to win this, and I believe it's 3 turns. But 1 turn is just getting there, so. And they don't come towards you, like I said, they just kabuff for a while and put barriers on themselves. Might be helpful to learn abilities, but I don't think that would be worth getting a couple gems. I'm gonna try it. See if it's worth the time to actually do it or not. So that one actually calls in reinforcements if you don't take him down. Now I wouldn't suggest trying to get this achievement before moving on to the next ones, and before you move on to the next one, you'd want your crackle ability with this guy, for sure. Just for fun. Now I have these abilities leveled up a little bit. One thing you will want to do is grab some typeless ability tomes for this, because the Zoma fight does kind of come into play, that their debuffs are what kind of carries the whole thing. So I would say it's looking like, I don't know. I don't think I got the achievement anyway. So I don't know, if you want to play that out and try to get that extra gem, I think it's not worth it. I wouldn't suggest doing that. I couldn't get it, and my guys are already able to beat Zoma, so that 10 gem goes past, la-di-da. So I would suggest not fighting for that at all. It's almost like the 10 gems in the Dragon Road. There's like 10 or 20 gems with these guys flying around. It takes forever to get those gems. So the next one here, like I said, you want your Crackle, and it's also good if you can to have Glacier with the Skelegon. So Crackle with Umber and Glacier with the Skelegon before you start competing in it. There's two guys that are weak to crack in the fight, and it's really good to be able to take them down early. Now the dragon is not that hard to bring down in the fight, but it is a doozy. So I'll show you how I kind of play it out. Where are going? First thing you want to do is to crackle these two. Now normally that won't bring them down in one hit when you start out, but when they move in to sear your guys, after about the muddy hand moving, there will be your guy all your units get attacked by those birds, and you move this guy up here and use Glacier. But for now I'll use Chilly Breath on this guy because I got lots of mana for it, and that will take down the birds initially, and then you'll be able to deal with the rest of the guys, and the fight's actually not that hard if you have those abilities on level already. You're about level 44, level 45, which gives you the ability to take down the dragon and the birds pretty easily. And this guy's great for bringing down these throughout the whole adventure because they're weak against lightning damage. And this Eagle Grip is what I was talking about that can stun the enemy. It's great, it only lasts one turn though. And Glacier. It's almost brought down the dragon here. So this is kind of how the fight goes. The bats do more every once in a while, but a lot of the time they don't do too much. So we're gonna go with Crackle. The Putrid Breath is for Zoma pretty much if you want to use it for that. You don't really have to, but it's kind of a good idea. So this is a late ability for him where he gets to 4 slashes. You're gonna want to have that for when you fight Zoma for sure. Or I mean not Zoma, sorry, you fight Baramos's illusion at the last one and the next one. It's like 2 different forms of Baramos. And then it's Baramos and then Baramos with 2 or 3 guys, I believe. It is actually a pretty tough fight with this level, but this is the earliest level I was able to bring down the next guy. Or not the next guy, the final battle was at this level, so I'm showing you it as soon as I got to it to kind of have, I'm not over leveled because I do want to get my Umbra and Armful really to level 90 by the end of the season or the event, because you get awakening shards for it. So I'm going to be leveling those past this. So we're going to embark. Now this is a tough battle. And it does take a little while to be able to bring this down after you take down the last road. But it is able to be taken down not too long with getting through levels, like level 50-ish, level 55-ish. You should be able to bring this guy down. Now, I'm going to show you how it goes. Now, normally when you're a lower level, this guy won't go first, so we'll wait with him. Normally, he would go first, and then I'd be able to move up for a Sweet Breath attack. You can also try to get a Burning Breath there if you want. So try to get a Sweet Breath on him. Misses. Now you normally want that to hit, but it's not that big of a deal. So if you want to try it again and always get the sleep off for sure, it is a good thing. At this level, these guys can autoplay it where they don't actually have to use the debuffs. I'm not getting lucky with getting them off though. I did kind of have weird positioning on that too when I moved in, because he moved a different way than usually. So I'll crackle him. Actually, I'm going to move in for the Sweet Breath, and if I don't get that with him, I'll use the other guy for Burning Breath. You do want to get Zoma a turn off as much as you can. And this is where you want to level up the Burning Breath for sure, with the ability tomes I was talking about before. So we've already got him paralyzed, so we're going to go for that. Unfortunately, my Muddy Hand is confused. Move around, do Glacier, cost 1 less mana. So I'm going to go for a Sweet Breath. Didn't work, but you can actually Sweet Breath while they're paralyzed to keep them going in a bad state. So just act like the turns he's kind of hitting me, you got your sleep off. If you want to do the adventure early and get a couple extra points and stuff like that, right? Do another Burning Breath. They're really not working good in this fight. It is kind of relying on my level right now. So you do have to get kind of lucky, but this time I'm getting really unlucky. So it is kind of that I've grinded past level 55 that I'm able to take him down right now. I'm just going to go with the Crackle for now and rely on the Burning Breath to try to paralyze him. So normally there would be about 2 guys down right now, and the real star of this show is that the Manowar can hold his own for about 4 or 5 rounds against Zoma if he's got the Awakening up and his resistance is high. So a stun is different than paralyzed. Since I got him stunned, next turn when he comes unparalyzed, he will be stunned. The only thing you got to be aware of is all of your other abilities with your guys pretty much will wake up Zoma if he's slept, but you can use your Crackle while he is asleep. Plus, if you do it again, it puts him into a deep sleep, which is for up to 4 turns. And then on the last turn, you try to get a Burning Breath in or the stun. So I haven't got it clear in 3 turns. I think that'd be a lot easier when my guys are a higher level, or what do you call it? You have some of the other guys that you can get through the polls and everything else to play with. It'd be easier to get that achievement, but on the next one I actually have them all. I don't know if I'll get it perfectly done, because if my luck goes really bad with the stuns and everything, I might have to play it a couple times. But this is the earliest level that you can get the Glacier Rush goal with this strategy that I found. That might not necessarily be true if you play it through a few more times or something like that than I did, but let's hope all goes well. Now, you're fighting Zoma once again, but when he hits you, he doesn't confuse as often. And the bats usually use KSAT most of the time, or sorry, the Umbras. I was calling the Living Shadow kind of like guys bats. So this is the arrangement I like to have for them, but once again, the Zoma would usually move first at this point. If you're not, or I guess if you're at this level, he doesn't. So you do want to wait here. If you move forward, Zoma will strike you, and it's not a good thing. Now I also have Armful and Umbra awaken to 2 during the event for extra stats and their buffs. Their initial buff is this guy gets what's it called? Sporadic HP regen, and the Umbra gets mana sporadically, so it really helps out to get them up a little bit. Their resistances don't come into play during this fight really, because Zoma uses I believe it's Bang. And so we'll go with the Chilly Breath here since we got the dragon in the way. Now this fight doesn't always go exactly the same, but the next thing you want to do is try to Sweet Breath him. Cool, I got him to sleep, so this is a good example. Now, if you're playing this, you don't necessarily need to get Zoma down in the first time. I might do an extra one after this just to show you if you fail the first couple attempts with doing it, because you can take some damage during it and not be too worried. Now, don't use any martial attacks against Zoma right now while he slept. So I'm going to do lightning. So eagle gripping the dragon is a really good thing if you get it in. Getting really lucky this time, not last time. So I'm going to go with Glacier here. Take some damage on the dragon. Now I'm going to back up. Go with Sweet Breath again. Try to put Zoma into a deep sleep. Didn't work. He's no longer paralyzed, but is asleep. So I'm going to take down these bats. Actually, I'm going to Burning Breath Zoma. Now he's paralyzed, that's good, so that takes him down for another round. Dragon is stunned. We'll go with using the Eagle Grip on this guy. It does not bad damage. I don't recommend leveling that one because I did, but then I realized it doesn't increase their chance to stun, it increases damage, but it is actually, if I had it a little bit more, that would have killed him, so whatever you want to level, of course, but I didn't find it necessary for this fight. It's leveling the debuffs that's really important. So right now, I'm going to use a Sweet Breath on him. So I got the breath up to +4, by the way. I believe I have 1 Burning Breath on the Armful up to +5. It cost me about 20 to 30 tomes in total of C-type to be able to do it. So I'm going to take down this bat now. So remember, the Zoma's in a deep sleep, so I don't have to worry about waking him up or doing anything to him for a while. I can focus on the dragons and everything else. So basically I'll be using Crackle next turn instead of Sleep again, since he's in a deep sleep already. Now a mistake would be moving over and using your Glacier here, because it's breath or martial attack, so it would wake Zoma up right now. You do not want Zoma woken up. He does a lot of damage. So we'll Crackle him. Burning Breath. Didn't work. This gives us a turn where we can attack him if he becomes paralyzed. So it will take away his sleep though. Well, he didn't actually wake. Oh, I did wake him up. Glacier here. It's good that got a lot of mana still. Woot. Couple criticals there. Using the lightning. Try to get this stun on him. Didn't work. Glacier. So this was a good show of how it can go really well against Soma. I might, depending on how long the video... Oh, the video is 25 minutes, so I could include one where he comes out of paralysis early. See, he does a lot of damage. But he might get paralyzed anyways. Well, that shows the perfect strategy anyways. So you can see if it can come to your guys don't actually get those in, you will be able to get a burning breath at some point. Zoma will be able to take down a couple guys, but this little dude can really hold his own against Zoma, but he doesn't do too much fight damage, and he will become low on mana generally. So we'll do a Glacier, probably bring him down here, and that is how it is done. That is the earliest I was able to do it. I did use experience scrolls for some of the grinding for the levels to get the video out earlier and everything, but I don't know, it was a pretty good go. So only have to invest ranking up those guys to 3 as material investments, or and the Skelegon 4, or you know what I mean. And then I don't know, it's pretty cool. It works anyways. So that's how I get that done. Then you get your Blizzard Rush scroll and a lot more loot than just that. I believe it's 80 gems and a bunch of DQ gems. So we'll go next. And maybe I should play that out again to show you when it gets damaged. I got 27 for 30 minutes. So remember, the Mana War having extra stuff like that is good. And yeah, so we'll go into one thing really quick before the video is over, since I have a little bit of time instead of that video. We'll go through these guys' abilities really quick. So initially you get the debuff, and then it moves on to the Crackle. Now the Crackle is pretty much needed for the 5th level fight before you can really bring it down. And this guy, so he's got the debuff and the lightning ability. I've got the burning breath to level 4. And I've also got some pretty good equipment on him. I got the Doom Dagger that you get through the event on Umbra as well. I'll highlight and mention that. Plus all the best equipment that I have right now. Not quite the armor up. I don't really have this guy awakened all that much, but it is a little bit of a boost in comparison. I have him awakened to level 1. His ability is the Eagle Grip and the Scratch. So this guy's abilities, the Wind Slash is pretty late game. I believe it's like level 48 or 52 or something like that, or 44, I can't quite remember. But it is pretty good. It is better than the Eclonian Slash most of the time, although the Eclonian Slash does seem to do more damage. The Wild Slash does crit quite a bit, and it hits more often than a Bubble King's Toxic Thrust in comparison somehow. It's got like a better hit ratio for his attacks and everything else. And then we got the Skelegon here. And Glacier is pretty late game into it, but it is a good ability to have for that kind Chimera battle. And Cool Breath, it doesn't really do much damage early on, but it is nice to have the range to get maybe your 5th achievement gems or your 3rd achievement gems and stuff like that. So remember, if you want to compete for the extra gemstones or you have Zoma or anything like that, go ahead. But you may have noticed I did get all my gems for the first time I beat Zoma. I don't know if I necessarily got it that time. But thank you for watching the video. Whenever it is and wherever you are, I hope it's a great day or night for you. And have a good one, and I'll see you again. Or I guess you'll see my videos again if I do. Thank you, and good night, or good day.